I think it's interesting to see how the debate has matured over the last 2 or 3 years. New entrants are clearly here to stay, and I think people are much more aware now of what they're trying to do and what they bring to the party.
The ABS is not the be-all and end-all, it's not the final solution, if you like, as Neil was saying. And what it has done is it has encouraged new ideas, and for me particularly, because we do work with other sectors, it's demonstrating how information and ideas and experience in other sectors is really going to drive this sector forward, and it's opening the doors up.
But the legal market's massively different to many commercial ones because the purpose of most of the people in it historically hasn't been about billing and revenue generation. It's in itself. It's been about activity. So the nearest I can come to it is actually the healthcare marketplace.
That percentage keeps growing every year, but it is. I think it is a challenge to come in an environment like this. But ultimately, I think the non-lawyers have to work harder probably to make those points and really stand out, and not necessarily take the view that they are by default in the shadow and basically fight their corner.
For many law firms, it's been a perfect storm. There's been a new regulatory environment, there's been economic uncertainty and chaos, huge competition for business, and most of all, I'm echoing your comment here, clients getting in the driving seat, both what they want and the way they want it delivered in the way they've never done before. Now, many firms see that perfect storm as an absolute threat, but others now see it as a real laboratory for innovation. And I think the firms who see it as a laboratory and are using it not just to innovate in theory, but to innovate in practice, they're the ones who are going to deliver that Dyson moment.
Most of the surveys around unmet legal needs really fail to even begin to grapple with the scope of the problem, because it really identifies a sector of the population who fail to access legal services in the way that they ought to. But it misses the fact that everyone else only uses legal services when they really, really have to.
People expect that the legal technical stuff is going to be done right, and if it's done right, you better close up now because it won't work in the future. It's all the other bits that the legal profession has the opportunity to improve on. And that, if you look at other industries, you can see how that's happened.
And I think for regulators, that means for the Solicitors Regulation Authority thinking less about how do we regulate solicitors and more about how do we regulate the legal market. And that means thinking more and more about the interplay between those services that have to be regulated and those that don't have to be regulated by a legal regulator.
This piece around website development is very interesting, and the presentation earlier indicated that for many law firms, the website presence is effectively just a glorified business card online. It's a statement of this is who we are and this is what we do. And firms with a kind of joined up digital marketing strategy are relatively few and far between. And I think when you dig into the website development and when we talk to firms in more detail about what they're doing there, there's a massive disparity between those that are really taking this as the most important thing that they do, actually, to firms that are just starting up the site.